Good afternoon and welcome to the West Ham Voice on a Friday afternoon. Not normal that I would do something at lunchtime, but I thought I'd give it a go and talk about something West Ham related, but just with a slight different angle to it. And that's, of course, the final day of the season. Which is just 2 days away from today. And there's an awful lot to play for, isn't there? We already know that there are a couple of teams already relegated from the Premier League. Norwich and Watford are already down. But who's going to join them? And the battle to stay to stay in the Premier League, as opposed to going down, is going to be quite a big deal for two teams in particular, because it's going to be either Burnley or Leeds United in that going down with Norwich and Watford. Now, we all know back in April, with 8 games to play in the Premier League, Burnley surprisingly sacked Sean Dyche from his position. And then since then, it's been down to caretaker manager Mike Jackson to try and steer them to safety. When Deitch left Burnley, they had only 4 wins in the season, but 12 draws with 8 games to go. So it was those draws that were kind of keeping them their heads above water. But Jackson came in to steer him to safety, and he's done not too bad. They've won 3 games and drawn 3. And his first game, of course, was against West Ham United in the 1-1 creditable 1-1 draw. They currently sit in 17th position and only above Leeds on goal difference. And you could see that but both clubs, I mean, Leeds United's goal difference is pretty drastic in comparison. But their last game of the season is at home to Newcastle. Now that's going to be quite a tricky game for Burnley. It's not going to be It's not going to be straightforward. Newcastle are, a decent run of form at the moment, so it's not going to be just plain sailing for them. They definitely have their work cut out for them, Burnley. But what about the alternative? What about Leeds United? Well, Leeds United themselves have got Brentford in their last game, and it's Brentford away. And that itself is going to be quite tricky. Leeds are just, they seem to be just sliding down the table. They're not doing too well at the moment. They're third from bottom as it is. And they themselves, they sacked their manager back in February, Marcelo Bielsa. And it hasn't really given them the impetus that I think they were hoping for. Look, Marcelo Bielsa, it's always been suggested that he was quite a great tactician, etc. And you could see in certain games that the kind of game that he wanted to play with Leeds United, and many people gave him an awful lot of praise and an awful lot of credit. But I just think overall, good enough maybe to get through the championship, and they did all right in the first season of the Premier League, but they kind of fell away pretty badly. Bielsa got sacked in February after they conceded 17 goals in 4 games, and I think that the last straw was the 4-0 defeat against Spurs. But then Leeds brought in Jesse Marsh to lead them to try and steer them to safety. Um, Jesse Marsh, American coach, who had previously managed a number of Red Bull clubs, Red Bulls, New York Red Bulls, Red Bull Salzburg, Red Bull Leipzig, but coming into the Premier League with such little knowledge and experience of the league is probably quite a tall order for him. Every time I hear Marsh speak, I can't help. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the accent, or maybe it's I don't know what it is. But he reminds me of Ted Lasso, and we all know what happened in that show where Ted Lasso, saw his team AFC Richmond relegated to out of the Premier League, and I just can't help feeling that Marsh is going to go the same way with Leeds United. Am I being harsh? I mean, yeah, probably I am, and I don't mean it in a facetious, in a horrible way, but I don't think Marsh has got the skills to get the win that they need against Brentford in the final day of the season. So I think for me, it looks like Leeds United are going to be relegated, and then the connotations. And then I'm thinking on a selfish perspective, West Ham, what might happen to some of the players at Leeds. We already know that we're apparently interested in Calvin Phillips and Rafinha, etc. So with Leeds, if Leeds get relegated, what does that mean for their squad and for some of their better players? Right. Well, we've got other things to uh, come result in the final day of the season, and that's the fight for fourth spot between Spurs, North London rivals Spurs and Arsenal. Now, at one point earlier this season, it looked like Arsenal were going to run away with, getting through and winning all their games and getting into the top four with ease. And even at one point, thinking that they might topple Chelsea in the third place position. But their results over the past couple of months have been somewhat haphazard. They lost away to Palace and Southampton, came straight back and beat Chelsea 4-2 away. And then they beat us 2-1 at home. But their winning streak was soon halted with a 3-0 away defeat to Spurs and then a 2-0 away defeat to Newcastle. Um, Now you can see that they are 2 points off Tottenham in currently in fifth position. Tottenham's goal difference is vastly superior, and all Tottenham really need is a point in their last game in order to secure fourth spot. So that's going to be intriguing as well. Now, some would say that Arsenal should have a relatively easy game against Everton at home in their last game of the season. Everton, as we know, are now safe from relegation, so they might just be taking their foot off the gas and taking it a little bit easy. But you could also argue that Spurs have got a very easy game against Norwich as well. So both teams are going to probably get wins out of the games that they've got. But as I said, Spurs only need a point in order to secure their fourth spot in the league, and I'm predicting that they will do so. I mean, they've gone on a pretty decent run. Spurs 5 games unbeaten run, which include 3 wins and 2 draws. One of those draws being against title challengers Liverpool, and I think we can safely say that Antonio Conte has managed to turn it around, and many would argue he managed to turn it around with the signings that he made in the January transfer window. Then, of course, we've got the battle for sixth place. And, this one is a bit tougher to call, I think. I think the relegation one, I think Leeds, unfortunately, are going to lose out. Fourth place, I think that's almost a written that spot. Tottenham are going to get that spot. When it comes to sixth and seventh place in the league, one may say that it's maybe not quite as straightforward as we might think. Now, we know that Man United have had a pretty poor season throughout. Man United, oh, sorry, yeah. This is going to decide who's going to be in the Europa League and who's going to be in the Europa Conference. And I've said myself that for me, even if we get Europa Conference League, I think I think it's good. I think it will give the team more European experience. And there have been some decent teams in the Europa League, and of course the final. Roma aren't they're not going to sniff it if they beat final. They're not going to sniff at that final, are they? Because winning that competition, winning this the final will automatically put that team in the Europa League for next season. So I don't think there's anything to be sniffed at. I think some of the teams that have been involved, Roma, Feyenoord, Marseille, they're decent teams, and winning this inaugural competition isn't to be sniffed at all. So what about us? Let's go back to us for a minute. We've got our bogey team, haven't we? We've got our bogey team against Brighton on Sunday, and we've played them 9 times in the Premier League over the past few seasons, and we haven't won one game. I think we've drawn something like lost 3 and drawn 6. And the last time that we beat Brighton was in the Championship when this man got a hat trick in April 2012, 10 years ago. So maybe it's about time that we sort of put that right. And as I said in my tribute to Mark Noble in the West Ham Weekly on Monday night. Why not this man? He scored his first senior goal for West Ham United against Brighton. Why not finish his career by scoring the winner against Brighton this Sunday. I mean, it's written in, isn't it? We're going to finally break our hoodoo, and and we're gonna win, and we're going to go to sixth spot. Because I was going about to say, we'll go look at Man United, and you could see, look, Man United, they're only 2 points above us. They, even a draw for them against Palace at the weekend may not be enough if we win our game, and we've got to win. There's no two ways about it. A draw's no good. We've actually got to win our game. Man United, they really need to win to be sure. But even a draw might not be enough for them. And I'm not predicting Man United to do well. They've been on a slide, haven't they? Crystal Palace, Patrick Vieira, ex-Arsenal player, he's not going to want to do Man United any favours, is he? And they Man United, I don't know. They go into the game having won just two and drawn one of their past six games. One of those was a narrow win over Norwich, 3-2 win over Norwich. They shoot in those six games a 4-0 to defeat to Liverpool, 3-1 away defeat to Arsenal, and a humiliating 4-0 defeat to Brighton. And they also, on top of that, they haven't played any football since the 7th of May. Now, some people would argue, well, that means they're fresh. They're going to, they're ready to go. I'm not so sure. We've already been sort of made aware that Man United cancelled their end of season player award ceremony because some of the senior players were too embarrassed to attend. They're not in the right frame of mind. They're going to go to Palace, and they're not going to necessarily be in the right frame of mind. I've got a feeling that Palace is going to get a result from them. I've got a feeling probably it's going to end up 2-2. So that's my prediction on that. They're not going to win. They'll get a draw. West Ham United will win their game, and we're gonna go up to sixth place. Look, we've done well after the disappointment against Eintracht Frankfurt and going out in the semi-final of the Europa League. And did anyone watch the final? I caught snippets of it. Goodness me. With the greatest of respect to Rangers and Eintracht Frankfurt, if we'd got to the final, I think we would have won that with ease. But it's in hindsight, isn't it? Look, after that, we came back, smashed Norwich 4-0. Okay, everyone was saying, well, it's only against Norwich. They've already been relegated. So what? But then we had that fantastic draw against Man City last weekend where we played superbly and we deserved, I mean, I kind of feel that we deserve more than just a draw, but it was a fantastic effort. And it shows that we sort of brushed off the disappointment and we've moved on. Liverpool, let's move on to the top of the league, shall we? Look, Liverpool, having won both domestic cups, they're still in the hunt for the quadruple, aren't they? They're in the Champions League final. They've won both domestic cups. They're just behind Man City in the league itself. I mean, could they do it? Could they win everything? Could they wipe the slate clean with everything this season? I don't know. I've got a feeling that that quite possibly this might be one step too far for Liverpool. They've done really well. Liverpool's last defeat in any competition was in March at home to Inter Milan, where they lost 1-0 in the Champions League. But it hardly mattered because they won the away leg 2-0 only a few weeks prior. And from that point on, they have gone 14 games and 14 wins, 14 games with four draw, a 14-game win with a four-draw win, with a four-draw run. Did you get that? 14 wins, four draws. They haven't lost. Now, they've got Wolves at the weekend. Now, normally, Wolves would be a tricky team to play against, but they can't reach us. They can't get into any European competition. And I think you could say it's more or less nailed on that they'll win that game at the weekend, Liverpool. To really put the pressure on Man City. But what about Man City themselves? They've got Aston Villa at the weekend. Now, if there could be any more of a twist, Aston Villa managed by ex-Liverpool player Steven Gerrard. I mean, is that written? It's ain't going to be an easy game for Man City. I think it's going to be quite difficult for them. I think Steven Gerrard is going to want to put one over Man City in order to help his ex-team. It's going to be tricky. I would say, despite the Man City's slight hiccup, could I call it a hiccup against West Ham United when they drew 2-2? No, I think we played well enough to get a result. But fair play to Man City. They ground out a result, didn't they? And I think they're going to be resilient enough to get what they need against Aston Villa at the weekend, and they're going to be crowned champions. Look, I'll be really honest with you, and this is a little bit of bias. I'd rather have Pep Guardiola and Man City win the league. To be honest, I think the man is graceful. I admire the way he approaches the game of football. His team played pure football. You know, you got to look at them, and you got to be envious in some way. He's got a great philosophy, and he's a humble man, especially compared to Jurgen Klopp, who I find irritable. Where I find Guardiola graceful, I find Jurgen Klopp irritable. You know, he has a tendency to moan when his team lose. He always blames things. You know, whatever it was he said about West Ham when they lost against us earlier in the season, and then of course he keeps courting players, openly courting footballers that play for other teams, which I find quite distasteful. So for that reason alone, I actually want Man City to win. So here's my overall predictions for the end of the season. Man City, I think, are going to be champions. Spurs are going to come fourth and finish in the Champions League. We're going to come sixth, finish in Europa League, and unfortunately, Leeds are going to be relegated. So that's my very brief update on my predictions for the last game of the season. And I can see I've got tons of comments, so I'm going to go straight to the very top and say hello to you all and see what you guys have to say. Give me your predictions. Who do you think? Who do you think are going to be champions? Who do you think is going to be fourth? Who do you think is going to be sixth? And who do you think is going to be relegated? So let's see. Good afternoon to you, Hammerette. Europa League could be ours again. Europa League, just to correct you, Europa League will be ours again. Thanks for joining. I hope you're well. Robert, good afternoon to you. Ain't got work to do? Lunch hour, mate. So I ain't got long to go. Robert, again, you should have seen Everton fans last night. You would have thought that they'd won the league, not avoided relegation up here in Liverpool. Yeah, apparently they stormed the pitch, didn't they? Good grief. Imagine that. Good afternoon to you, Steve. Interesting to see what the FA will do. Got fined for 3 people on the pitch. We got fined for 3 people on the pitch. I'm still waiting to see what UEFA are going to do about Eintracht Frankfurt's fans invading the pitch as well. Nothing. Steve, I see the flip-flop has said that Origi is leaving at the end of the season. He is leaving at the end of the season. His contract comes to an end. I'd like him. But I think there's already a deal. He's going elsewhere, to be honest. I think I read. But I am going to do a bit of a roundup of transfers and free players, etc., next week. Sean, good afternoon to you. Catching one live for the nice one, mate. Thank you for joining. I hope all is well with you. Anil, good afternoon to you. I'm early. I expect Stell to be early as well. Good afternoon, Darren. How are you, mate? I hope you're well. Are you going on Sunday, Darren? See you down there if you are. Good afternoon to you, Lee. I hope you're well. Mate, I'm so sorry. I did predict Leeds are going to be relegated. Not I got anything against Leeds, but I think just the way that the fixtures are panning out, unfortunately, I don't think Leeds are going to make it, mate. That is a Leeds badge, isn't it? Or am I wrong? It is a Leeds badge. Darren, can I take no spares, mate? I'm so sorry. What else have we got? Who else have we got here? Let's see. Good afternoon, English Yardie. How are you, mate? I hope you're well. It is afternoon. It is already afternoon. Anil. Down to 2 in the relegation. Dogfight, Leeds or Burnley. Leeds for me to go down. That's what I predicted as well. Good afternoon to you, Trini. I hope you're well. It's ironic that 2 teams who sacked their managers during the season are now facing relegation. It is ironic. Were you surprised? I was surprised that Sean Dyche got sacked, to be quite honest with you. I mean, Jackson has done decent. He's done all right. But I actually was surprised that Dyche got sacked. Good afternoon to you, Sharky. Good afternoon to you, Mandy. Thank you for joining, both of you. Good afternoon, Black Country. I hope you're well, mate. Mandy, will the Palace players recover from last night's game enough to beat Man United? I think they will. I think Vieira, like I said, Patrick Vieira, ex-Arsenal player, he's not going to want to do Man United any favours. He's going to psych them up. And I think they're going to get a result. I think it'll be a draw. I'm not so sure that they'll win, but I think it'll be a draw. Mandy again, I'm confident we can beat Brighton. I'm confident finally, I think we will. I think this is the game we've got to beat them. We've got to beat them. No choice. A week's rest is rare for us this season. It is, but I think we're going to be. I think we're going to be psyched up from the result that we got against Man City last week. Buzzing for the weekend. So am I, Hammerette. Book the tickets to get down there, or getting down there for around midday. Good afternoon, Pat Holland fan. I think we can win. However, I'm afraid that Man U will also win for their suffering fans. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. Steve, been rough as the last couple. I hope you're feeling better, mate. I hope you're feeling better. Sharky, not bad. Looking forward. Everyone's looking forward to the weekend. Reese, good afternoon to you. Looking forward to season 3 of Ted Lasso. Everyone needs to watch it. Looks like it'll be quite West. Well, yeah, his assistant coach or whatever he was has now become the new manager of West Ham in the 3rd series, isn't he? Who else have we got here? Black Country. West Ham, get some whiskey inside you. Telling you how to get better. Mandy, Stell goes on a roll and there's no. I know. I do go off on one, don't I can't. I never seem to stop. That when I do my West Ham Weekly, that's why I put little videos in order to have that little bit of a break. But when it's a short show like this, I know I start and I don't stop. Pat Holland fan, great season again. Really proud of the lads. Going to miss you, Noble. We're all going to miss him. You know, the influence that he has in the changing room, etc. Absolutely. That's why I think it's quite fitting that he's going to score the winning goal. And get us into the Europa League at the weekend. Reese, not long woke up, was playing. Oh, Reese, the youngsters of today, hey? Good afternoon, P. Gads. I hope you're well. For having the youngest squad in the league, Arsenal will be fine. They'll be fine, but I still think I don't think they will get Champions League. I think that's Spurs is to lose. I mean, who do you want to get into 4th place out of those two? Grief, you know. Sharky, potentially Lanzini could be playing. No, they're rumours. You know, he has said he wants to finish his career at River Plate, but he's not talked about going now. He's got 1 season left. I think what we're going to do. Excuse me. I think what we're going to do with Lanzini is he's going to see the last season out with us. We've got too many players leaving anyway. We can't afford to let players who are still in contract to leave on top of that. He will be at West Ham next season. 1 season left, and I think we'll give him that grace to let him go to River Plate on a free transfer at the end of next season. Good afternoon, Jim. Thank you for joining, mate. Much appreciated. Steve, never going to hear the end of it if the Spuds finish 4th. Won't hear the end of it if the Arsenal finish 4th either. So, you know, take your pick. English Yardie, Mandy G, CP bottled it. Crystal Palace bottled it last night. I'm hoping they come out flying against Man United. Sorry. Brighton will be a tough match for us, but I don't think we've beaten them. We haven't beaten them yet. Now's the time to do so. Anil, I went to Arsenal game and their fans were singing when Arteta wins the Champions League. Good afternoon to you, Peach. I hope you're well. Who else have we got in the chat here today, this afternoon? Let's scroll down. Everyone's speaking to each other. Sean, how many VAR decisions will Manure get at the weekend? 3 is a standard estimate. Oh, no. I'm still going to predict they're going to lose. Peter, happy belated cheeky git. And thank you for the birthday wishes. It was my birthday on Wednesday. Should have been in Seville celebrating, shouldn't I? Kevin, morning, Stell. Hope you're well and have luck. Thank you very much, mate. From Kevin, Nick. Cheers, Kevin. Oh, I hope you're well. And your dad, Nick. Yeah, cheers, fella. Thank you for that. Hammerette, Manure will be lucky to get a draw, and we will pull another shock and break the record of not beating the Seagulls. I can feel it. Oh God, we dream a lot, don't we? But I actually think that's going to happen. I think they will get a draw, Man United, and I think we will finally beat Brighton away from home, even though we haven't beaten them in the league for 9 games. Chris Hammer, hello, mate. The time has come to beat Brighton and march onto Europa. Absolutely agree. Mandy G, looks like a draw. Which one? Our game or Man United's game? Trini, Vieira may not be in the dugout after King. Oh yeah, I saw pictures of that this morning. What's going on there? Goodness me, that looked a little bit tasty, didn't it? Who else have we got? Pete Gads. Crystal Palace should have beaten Everton and sent them down. Shame Richarlison would be great at West Ham United. Yeah, they're saved, aren't they? So Well, I guess we're looking at, the teams that have gone down. There's an awful lot of talk about some of the players that we might be interested at Newcastle, at Watford, and at Norwich. I think Dennis is one player that we're looking at from Watford. And if Leeds go down, then, like I mentioned earlier, Rafinha maybe. I'm not so sure about Rafinha, but Calvin Phillips could be a player that we may well be interested in. Peter, if we beat Brighton, there will be a bus tour around East London. Trini, Happy Amaret, you agreed. Not so sure why pitch invasions have been allowed. I know what is going on there, and yet we get told off for having two idiots running on the pitch only a few weeks ago. Hammerette, I want Fat Frank to go down with them over and others too. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen now, is it? Peter, it is illegal to go on the pitch, so they aren't allowed. It is, yeah, but yet nothing's happened. Sharky reckons that Man City will be champions again. I agree. Mandy, only a treble for Liverpool, maybe, and we beat them this season. So who are you? A treble. Which treble, though, do you think, Mandy? Are they going to win the league or are they going to win the Champions League? Because I don't think I it's going to be interesting to see how the Champions League turns out. I think Real Madrid are chomping at the bit now, but I think maybe just the two domestic trophies might be all that Liverpool have at the end of the season. Sean have had 2 ton of 13-2 on the Scousers. Come on, Villa. Hammerette, we got fined for 2 lads going on the pitch, yet this is allowed to happen. The injuries it's caused, yeah. And I'm also asking, after the Eintracht Frankfurt game, what would have happened if any of our players got assaulted on the pitch over in Germany? Would Eintracht Frankfurt have been kicked out of that competition? Probably not. Trini, Man City will never win the Champions League. I think they're not far away, maybe in the next couple of seasons or so, to be quite honest with you. But let's see. Anil, it's a shame the Toffees didn't come to a sticky end. Well done, Anil. Hammerette, Brighton have only won 4 home games all season. It's written in the star seat. You can't tempt fate like that. But I agree. Peter, Man City will do Villa 3 or 4-0. Ooh, wow. I think they'll win. I'm not sure they'll be 3 or 4-0. Mandy, imagine next season with Man City with Haaland. Yeah, I know. Daniela, good afternoon to you. At work, can't stay, but a great weekend, everyone. Let's get 6th place and Liverpool cack off with offering Ox. We don't want it. Don't read, like I keep saying. Don't believe everything you read. It's not true. We're not taking Occo Flex. We're not taking the Ox. Pat Holland fan, have the telescope out and it's written in the stars. Happy. Anil, I hope for an injury time. Jesus, what a moment in the Man City Villa game. Peter, Stell's a dead ringer of brains from Thunderbird with a beard and hair. I'm not. What? Because of my eyebrows? I actually trim them. That's John. Where's that gone? Here we are. Hammerette, hate Liverpool. Man City has to win, especially after the chat and respect he showed us, considering may have contributed towards them losing the title. Yeah, I think it will be Man City who will win the league, to be quite honest with you. Steve, Mandy, can you imagine Haaland being marked by Diop if he's still here? Well, another one. There's quite a few. I mean, look, let's look briefly at the weekend. Apparently, Ben Rama's back and should be fit for the game. Ogbonna apparently might be on the bench. Yes, apparently Ogbonna might be on the bench for the game against Brighton at the weekend. I think Ben Rama's in line. I think we're gonna, I can't see Ogbonna starting. I think it'll be Dawson and it'll be Zuma. But maybe if Ben Rama is fit enough, maybe it'll be the game what we did against Norwich, where we put a very attacking lineup on the pitch for our first 11. Trini, Pep is a disgraceful manager. He moans and feels him and his team have a good God-given right to win stuff. He will kick his granny down the stairs. I would say that's more Klopp than it is Guardiola. Maybe I'm giving Guardiola a bit more grace because he was graceful to us about the way he talked about Noble and Antonio and about West Ham United in general. PCADs, very optimistic predictions, but are they right or are they wrong? Champions, Man City, fourth place and Champions League, Spurs, sixth place and Europa League, West Ham. That might be a bit optimistic. And relegation leads. I should put a bet on that. I'm actually going to go and put a bet on that and see what happens. I just think Man United are not going to do it at the weekend. I really do. English Yardie. I hope it's Man United who's playing Crystal Palace, not City. Vieira will have Crystal Palace flying on Sunday. Um, love the positive vibes. Thank you very much, Hammerette. Trini, Liverpool champions, us in Europa League, Burnley to go down. Oh, that's what you want. That's what you want. Liverpool champions, us in the Europa League, Burnley to go down. Interesting. Steve reckons City, Spurs, West Ham, and Leeds. Same prediction as me. Sean, we'll have to go through the rigmarole of a bloody playoff if it's the conference. Do we? I haven't actually looked into that yet. Do we really have to do that? Oh dear, I hope not. Trini, Origi is going to Milan. I know I thought he had signed some. Yeah, there we go. Epic. Good afternoon to you as well. He signed for Milan. Yeah, not bad. Not I think he's going to do well. I think. It's typical. It's a lot of these young players that go to a big team and end up being, sitting on the bench most of their careers. It's ruined an awful lot of players. Will the same thing happen to him at AC Milan? Don't know. Peter, prediction: Man City champs, Spurs fourth, Man United and Leeds. Oh, Peter, no, no. Pat Holland fan. Shitty will win the league. Yes, Spurs fourth. Yeah, we will sneak six and Leeds to drop. That's what I'm thinking. Sharky, since I was a kid, I've always dreamed of West Ham playing in the Conference League. Do you know what? This whole thing about the Conference League, I think it's I think it's the title of the league. I think the word conference in it is putting people off. They're looking at it as something really demeaning. And I think I said in the West Ham Weekly on Monday night that I've always known there to be three European competitions. I grew up Fairs Cup, Europa, European Cup, Cup Winners' Cup. And they've changed their names over time, and European Cup has become Champions League. Cup Winners' Cup, what's that now? Is that the equivalent to the European Conference League? I think it's the name conference that is putting people off. I'm more than happy to play in the Conference League if that's what happens. Man City champions, don't care about fourth. No, I don't either. Us sixth, Manure Potato Cup, and Burnley down, only because I don't want Phillips going to City. Phillips won't go to City. He'll come to West Ham. Alfie, good afternoon to you, mate. I hope you're well. Who's coming to Brighton? I am. Need to scrap VAR. Well, unfortunately, that ain't going to happen, is it? Hammerette, I'm leaving in the morning, making the most of the final weekend football. Yep. I'll be down there about midday. Good afternoon, Sanjay. Sanjay, sorry. Krezus to score the winner on Sunday, and all will be forgiven. You can't blame him. You can't blame him for what happened against Eintracht. You got to look at the positioning of our centre backs as well. Leaving Creswell on a one-on-one, no, not good. Hammer, I can see us going down early on and coming back and smashing them 3-1 with goals from Antonio Bone and my main man, Lanzini. Sharky, 2-0, both goals from Bowen. P-Gads, I remember a while back there was a rumour that if the Betway deal goes to gambling ban, Apple TV will be the kit sponsor. That wouldn't be bad, would it? Apple TV? That'd be quite a nice little earner. Ahmed, good afternoon to you. Thank you for joining and thank you for commenting. Brighton game will be close, 2-1 to West Ham. Fingers crossed, mate. Hammerettes, Man United players had a fight at training recently. It got cancelled. They have some serious knobs there. This is why I just don't think it's going to go well for them. Their minds are not going to be on playing football. It's what they're paid to do. But there you go. Kevin, Man City first, Arsenal fourth. Or you reckon Arsenal are going to go above Spurs? Burnley get relegated and West Ham seventh. Oh, mate, breaks my heart. What else have we got here? Big ads. If West Ham gets six again, the West Ham fans will celebrate more than City winning the champion. I agree. And we would deserve to celebrate. And will that be a successful look? Getting to the semi-finals of the Europa League, if we finish sixth as well, that to me is a very successful season, even though we haven't won anything. English Yardie. I want Phillips from Leeds and Ollie from Villa. I don't know this whole story about Ollie Watkins. I really don't. How much to buy those two players? Phillips and Declan in the middle is massive. You're looking at 100 mil, give or take. Maybe a slightly cheaper if Leeds do go down, and Phillips might be slightly cheaper, but you're still going to be looking at what, 35, 40 mil. Watkins, I don't know. I don't know. I don't mind him, but I just can't see Aston Villa selling him, to be honest with you. Peter, if we did get six and we still we still won't be counted as a top six team, who cares what they think? You know, they're never going to regard us as a top six team. Pete Gads, I may be running full pelt onto the pitch as fast as my little legs can carry me if we win and Man U don't. Watch this space, but I bet I don't do it. You'll get banned for like no, you get banned for life. I bet you just want to go and rip Lanzini's shirt off. That's what you want to do. Good evening, good afternoon to you, metal in both legs. I hope you're well, mate. Thank you for joining. Haven't seen you for a while. Ahmet, very good. Thank you. Lee Statham, hope you're well as well. Oh, it's jumped again. I don't know why this thing has started to jump again. That's really irritating. So, good afternoon to you, RG. I hope you're well, mate. Ahmet, Villa has draw written all over it. Interesting. That might not be enough. Pick. How was my 80th birthday? If and when I get there, mate, I'll tell you. Ahmet, I think we have a better chance of winning the European Conference. So not really sure how I feel about. Interesting point, but like I've sort of highlighted, I think there's going to be some decent teams that might go in the conference. It might not be as easy as you think to win it. Oggy, wouldn't it be nice for Oggy to be back last game of the season? Sharky, wouldn't mind that left back at Brighton. He looks a talented player. Remind me who he is because I can't picture his name at the moment. Hammerette, I heard we triggered the clause to keep. Yes, we haven't got Lewis Potter. Oh, Hammerette, what do I keep telling you? No, with regards to Areola, I wasn't going to do anything about players, but Areola, £10 million. Apparently, PSG are going to continue to subsidise his salary because he's got a contract with PSG till 2023. Even if we buy him on a permanent, PSG are committed to. I don't know why they would, but they're committing to continue subsidising his salary of about 40 grand, which means that we'll be paying him 80 grand a week. He's worth it. I think he's a really, really good keeper. Lewis Potter, I'm not so sure. You keep hearing different stories. 1 minute we're in negotiations with Hull. Next minute, there's no way they're going to let him go and they're going to offer him an extended contract and so on. Peter, all refs are poor these days and love to do us no favours. Yeah, you're absolutely right, especially against City last week. The Ogfather. Wouldn't it be back? Wouldn't it be great if he's back? Steve, Christ, you've gone from 60 to 80. Doing this show, I do feel old. Mandy, at least Peps has his own team. Good afternoon to you, Fred. I hope you're well. You're late. Let me just run through what I've said throughout the show, shall I? Just for you, mate. Just for you. So let's get your comment off there. So I said we already know that Norwich and Watford are relegated. God knows why Sean Dyche was sacked. But having said that, Jackson has done decent keeping them their heads above water. You can see Burnley just above Leeds United on goal difference. I'm predicting that Burnley will stay up and Leeds will get relegated. Burnley got a tricky game against Newcastle, but I think they might just get enough out of that game. But Leeds themselves have got a tricky game against Brentford as well. We know that they sucked Bielsa last February and they got Jesse Marsh in to manage them, but he does. I think you put a moustache on him and then you close your eyes and you probably, you're watching Ted Lasso, aren't you? Sorry, I shouldn't be so facetious, but I think Leeds will get relegated. And then the fight for fourth spot, as we know, is between Tottenham and Spurs. Tottenham and Arsenal. Not that we care much, but Arsenal have got to win their game. Spurs, they got to, maybe a point might be enough. They got Everton, so Arsenal have got Everton, so you'd expect them to win that. Spurs have got Norwich, you expect them to win that as well. West Ham United and Man United battle for the sixth place, and I've got a feeling it's going to be us. I really do. So is it going to be Europa League or is it going to be Europa Conference League for us next season? Genuinely, I don't mind either. Of course, I prefer Europa League, but I don't mind Europa Conference League either. Look, in the final, Roma, they're a decent team. Feyenoord, they're a decent team. The team that wins that game is going to go into the Europa League next season. So if we're in the Europa Conference League and if we win it, we get European football the following season. But we've got to beat our bogey team. We've got to beat Brighton. We played them 9 times in the league, in the Premier League, and we haven't won one of them. Lost 3, drawn 6. But now's our time. And the last time we beat them was April 2012 when Vasquez got a hat-trick in a 6-0 win. And I think Noble, as I've said, his first ever senior goal was against Brighton. And why not? You know, the last ever game he's going to play, senior game he's ever going to play for us. Why not him getting the winner? Look at us, you know, Man United, we're 2 points behind them. If we win our game, even if Man United draw against Palace, if we win our game, we go above them because we've got a better goal difference. Palace, they're not going to be a walkover. I know, you know, their defeat against Everton, a bit lackluster, but I think they're going to be up for it. And Man United are in disarray, as I've already said. And I just don't, I think I can see that being a draw. Whereas us, you know, we're on a run after the disappointment against Eintracht Frankfurt. You know, we smashed Norwich 4-0. But if people said, oh, well, so what, because they're relegated, then we got a fantastic result against Man City last weekend. We're on fire. That man's on fire. Bowen. Liverpool. Going to the top of the league. You know, they've won 2 domestic trophies now. Are they going to wipe the board clean? I'm not so sure. I think they will beat Wolves at the weekend to put pressure on Man City. But I think Man City will get what they need against Villa. They've got the trickier game, Man City. There's no denying that. But I think they'll be champions. As I said, on a personal note, I want Guardiola to win because I think he's been quite graceful, especially to West Ham United, whereas I find this man irritable and I don't want them to win the league. And there's my predictions. Champions, Man City, 4th place, Champions League. Spurs, 6th place, Europa League, and I'm smiling. West Ham United, and relegation, unfortunately, is going to go to Leeds United. So I hope that was a good update for you, Fred. Hammerette. Oh, yes. God, shit. Sorry. Please, like, if it's your first time here and you haven't commented, do get involved in the comment. You know, put your comments up and I'll do my best to put them up and read them out. But please like the channel. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Hit that bell button notification to make you aware of when the next show is on. Thank you, Hammerette, for continually reminding me. Sharky, Origi, Stratford or Milan? Stratford, of course. What are you talking about, mate? Trini, my wife is a passionate Liverpool fan and Burnley have been close too many times. Commiserations to her for not winning the Premier League this weekend. RG, word of warning, both Leeds and Everton got 59 points last season. Why is that a warning? They're not. Everton are going to do shit again next season. And Leeds are going to go down. Sorry, mate. I'm not sure in what context you mean it in. Steve, would be great to see Oggy back on in the fold. Would be fantastic. Are we too big a club for conference? No. European football is European football, I say. Hammerette. Just shocking that Leeds from night. Oh, right. Oh, I get what you're saying now. When you said that, RG, you mean, you know, they've got good points and now look at them struggle. That won't be West Ham, mate. That won't be West Ham. Hammerette. Shocking that Leeds went from 9th last season to possible relegation. They've really lost their way, haven't they? Peter, are the Astra Fireworks team in the conference Wolves, pork, sausages? Don't mock it. We might be playing in the next season. Robert, do Leeds need to go down for us to get Phillips? Good question. I think possibly yes. Rupert, at Malaga Airport, get the beers in. Mate, hope you had a wonderful... I saw the photos in Facebook. Hope you had a wonderful time. I did tell you, Seville's a beautiful city, isn't it? Anil, happy with a European football, any European football, so long as there's... not so long ago, it was just a dream. Now 2 seasons in a row. Exactly what I think. Love the positive. We've got to be positive. We're West Ham. We've got to be positive, haven't we? Sharky. Yes, any European football is good with me. Absolutely. Good afternoon, Peter. Thank you. I hope you're well, mate. Kevin, Stell, do you think we'll sign Ariel? I think we definitely will sign Ariel. I'd be really, really surprised if we don't. It would be a nonsense if we don't. You know, he's embedded into the squad. The players like him. I think he commands his 18-yard box. with the greatest of respect to Fabianski, he's been a great servant to us. But I think Areola is a number one. I think actually throughout next season he will eventually be the number one keeper. And yeah, I think we will sign him. I think it'll be a nonsense not to. Hammerette, Rob Phillips said he wants to stay at Leeds as a true Leeds boy, born and bred. If they go down, that's what I think. Yeah, um, yeah. For Ollie Watkins, excuse me, Epic. I don't think Aston Villa will sell him. I would be really really surprised. I think they want to build their squad up and really go for it next season. Mandy, Phillips would be a game change signing. I agree with that. Sean, Watkins' rumour is a knock on effect from Villa going after Luis Suarez. Because he's at the end of his contract at Atletico. He's a free agent, isn't he? Pat Holland fan, how about a UEFA trophy for all the teams that are relegated? Team that wins it don't go down. Too crazy? No, Europa will do anything to earn money, won't they? RG, Phillips would need a hamstring. Yeah, he was out for a bit of the season. Oh no, I don't think he's injury prone. Is he? Mandy, can you imagine both midfielders in the Euro final in our team? Yeah, I think it will be fantastic. Um, Epic. I hear Rafinha was spotted eating jelly deals in Canary Wharf. Thank you, Sean, for the birthday wishes. Trini, Gerard will fire up the Villa team to smash City one way or another. Can't see them rolling out. I'm not saying they're going to roll over, but I think City will just do it. Good afternoon, Jason. Hope you're well. Roma v PSV at final, conference final. Good competition. Yeah. Don't knock it. We're going to win it next season if we don't get into the Europa League. Archie, Nathan Holland disappeared in Oxford. Well, it's his last. Nathan Holland's contract. His loan spell comes to an end at Oxford, but also his contract at West Ham United ends this June as well. I think he'll be on his way, to be quite honest with you. I don't see West Ham United keeping him, to be honest. Exactly, Mandy. Don't believe everything you read. There you go. Mandy's told you, Hammerette. Back to the grind. Thank you for joining in, Hammerette, and for reminding everyone to like, subscribe, and all that sort of stuff. Mandy, I heard they kicked up the price to 30 million for Potter. They will want it. They won't get it, but they will want it. But no, I don't think we'll pay that much for him if we're interested in him. Thank you, Fred. Thank you for saying that. My pleasure. RG, the live commentary teams influence VAR decisions. I'd like them to come out and say what they see that we don't see when VAR decisions are made. Anil, Michael Jackson, Burnley will throw up a thriller, be dangerous, or just. Trini, 3 of the poorest rest are retiring this season. Was he effing off as well? Brilliant. Martin Atkinson and Mike Dean. Happy days indeed. Happy days indeed. Fred, all out for conference if Europa League don't happen. Exactly. Got to go for it. And then people have been saying, it's not worth playing Thursday, Sunday for a conference. European football is European football. Let's not mock it, because if we win it, you've already said that, Rupert. I've already read that out. Have a safe flight home, mate. RG, Vlasic to do a Jim Bowen next season. A Jim Bowen or a Jared Bowen. Chris Nix, good afternoon to you, mate. Apparently, Man City have a clause. If Grealish wins the league, they have to pay £15 million to Villa. Villa wouldn't mind losing to Man City. Oh, Jesus. For 15 mil? Oh, that's interesting, Chris. Yeah. Frano, Stella's man. Thank you, mate. Much appreciated. Good afternoon to you, Graham. I hope you're well. What are your plans for the close season with regards to shows? Will you be doing weekly transfer news, or are you shutting up shop? No, I'm not shutting up shop. I'll still be doing the West Ham Weekly every Monday. I've got no excuse not to do them every Monday now. And I will be doing more regular transfer shows. It's going to be all about transfers. So the West Ham Weekly will be any news about West Ham United, of course, players, contracts, players coming, players going, etc., and of course transfers. And then throughout the week as well, I'll be doing more transfer shows as well. Kevin, should be interesting next season that Mike Dean will be. No, apparently that was an April Fool's joke. Apparently he's not. I bloody hope he's not. Can you imagine if he did VAR? I'd be going, could I please VAR every West Ham game, please? How do I feel about Patrick Bamford? Not much at all, Gads, to be quite honest with you. All right, he ain't gonna. No, I mean, if you're talking about him coming to West Ham, nah, no, no. I think we got. Moyes has kind of alluded to. We've got kind of bigger fish to fry now. We're going for the bigger name players, bigger signings, bigger fees, bigger salaries, and all that sort of stuff. Bamford, he's all right, but he doesn't. No, doesn't pull up any trees for me. Fred, apart from all reasons you said about Areola, not once has he sold great. Exactly. Not once has he sulked. He's accepted the fact that he will be second choice, and he's done it with aplomb. I like him. I like him a lot. Good afternoon to you, Lee. I hope you're well. I'm very well. Another fantastic season from our boys. Couldn't be more proud. Last game, let's pick up 3 points. And oh, by the way, we are massive. Absolutely. Peter, if Lasic does a Bowen next season, that would be smashing. Great soup. He might come good. Like I said earlier on in the show, we can't afford to just sell players. There's talk about Diop going, Lanzini going, Vlasic going, etc., etc. We can't do it. We're already losing quite a number of players who are out of contract. Noble retiring, Frederick's end of contract, one or two others, etc. We're going to be really, really short of players anyway. So I think, I actually did say halfway through the season that, I think it might be Vlasic or Benrahma leaving. I wouldn't be surprised if they both stay and try and prove themselves and at least be good, decent squad players for next season. Maybe Moyes might be looking at Vlasic the way he looked at Benrahma and go, right, you've done your season of bedding in. Next season, you've got to perform for Vlasic. And then with Benrahma, I think, he had a lull in the middle of the season, but he started off really well. And he kind of, look what he did against, all right, it's against Norwich, I know. But then you use certain players for certain games. If you think the likes of Benrahma, etc., could do the business against the Norwiches of this world, and whoever comes up, the equivalents, then maybe you keep Benrahma as well. Peter, do you think the referee should have to answer questions for the? I absolutely 100% do. Yes, I absolutely do. I agree with you. Why is it such a closed, a secret sort of thing? Let them come out and explain themselves the way referees in rugby do and stuff like that. Sharky, Sunderland, Wickham playoff final tomorrow. Who do you see winning? Sunderland, I think, to be honest with you. Yeah, maybe Sunderland might just edge it. Brill and Bolo again. Watch how when I talk about transfer stories, I'm going to make reference to when I first talked about them. In my West Ham Weekly show, I talked about a number of players, and like the media, social media will have you to believe that it's almost the first time that we talked about them. But there are a number of players that just come out of the woodwork as well. Albert Ellis, who's a Boa Vista player on loan to, can't remember which French team it is. Apparently we're in for him. Bordeaux. I think it's Bordeaux. But no, we're not. Boa Vista don't want him. They put him out on loan to whatever French team he's gone to. They're bottom of the league. They've gone down to the second division of the French league. We don't want Albert Ellis. So you're going to be hearing stories being churned out over and over and over and over again. Brill and Bolo was one of them, I think, back in the summer that we were apparently in for. Good afternoon to you, Toby. How are you, mate? I hope you're well, mate. Who else do we have here? Toby, half our squad's older than me. We need youth. We do need youth, and I think, the likes of Diop, the likes of Vlasic, etc. They're younger players, and they may not have done so well this season. Ironically, I think Diop, when he was called upon, hasn't done too badly when he's been called upon. Will he be sold? I don't know. Peacads. If West Ham gets 6, all the media will talk about is what went wrong with Man United. Spot on, mate. Spot on. You're absolutely 100% right. They won't praise us for doing it. They'll get they'll go on about Man U's failure. If we get 6, I'll watch it. There you go. You said the same thing, RG. Trini. Good point, Peter, about refs. They are professional now, never explain their odd decisions as players and managers have to do. Exactly. I think they should come out and explain themselves. Pegads, I think every year the fans should vote on who's the worst ref and have a public beating at half time in the Community Shield. Daniela, agree, RJ, that shows the world how crap a club they are. Man United, I'm guessing you talk about. That's it, people. Thank you very much. I quite enjoyed that, a lively lunchtime debate. I've got to go back to work. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all, as usual, for your comments. You really do keep me on my toes. So, when am I back on again? Well, Monday night. I'll be back on Monday night with the West Ham Weekly. So, do join me for that. Going to try and make it Mondays regular instead of sort of, you know, during the season when we were playing Sunday games, it was really difficult to do Mondays, so I sort of reverted to Tuesdays. But more or less, I'll be back. I'll be back on Monday, certainly for the close season, as I was asked by Graham. Monday night, West Ham Weekly. Throughout next week, of course, the season's ended, so it'll all be about mainly transfer rumours, and I'll be bringing you up to date on all the latest transfer rumours. But I'll also be giving you a little bit of an insight into whether I think we will or won't be. So, I mean, of course, you know, that'll be part of the show, but I'll give you reasons as to why I think we will or won't sign. I've got one in mind. I've already written the script for it for one of the players is on a free transfer, and why I don't think he'll come to West Ham. I think he'll sign for someone else, but you're going to have to wait till next week for that. So, thank you very much. Have a fantastic Friday night and a fantastic weekend. Those of you who are going to Brighton, you know, if you see me in the crowd or outside having a drink or whatever, do come over and say hello and have a great weekend. Come on, West Ham. I know we're going to finish sixth on Sunday, and do my curtain support leads. Ask the missus. She chose them. I didn't. Hit that like button. Thank you very much. If you've yet to subscribe, do subscribe. Hit the bell notification and all that sort of stuff. And see you very, very soon.